This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports. Football is back.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right. With Nolan, Lyndon, Max, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
A matchup that could decide the 5A Region 7 title. WAAY on the road taking on a one-loss Guntersville team in our big game, Friday night game of the week.
But that's not the only important matchup tonight at Randolph. Two Madison County private schools squared off. Westminster on the road at Randolph in our rivalry game of the week. Hello and welcome in to Big Game Friday night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nolan Knight here with Max Cohan. And Max, week 8 of the high school football season already here.
Yeah, we can almost smell the playoffs, and at this point in the season, every snap just counts that much more.
Yeah, that's right. And there were plenty of playoff-type games tonight taking place, like our game of the week, where Guntersville was hosting WAAY in a huge 5A Region 7 battle. Our Xavier WAAY was on the sidelines in Sand Mountain.
Out at Guntersville, where the Wildcats host the WAAY Pirates for a chance to win the 5A Region 7 championship. And the atmosphere was electric. First drive for the Pirates. Quarterback Carter Lambert with the keeper, and he's going to follow his blockers, explode through the hole, and bully his way to the 3-yard line. And just a few plays later, it's Elijah Jacobs finding the seam and the end zone as WAAY takes the early 7-3 lead. But here come the Wildcats. On the first play of their next drive, Cole McCarty connects with a wide-open Brandon Fasale with no one in sight as Guntersville takes the 10-7 lead. Later in the second, with the play of the game, McCarty hands off to Logan Pate, and watch Pate move his way up the field. One spin, dodges a defender, shakes off 2 Pirates, and adds one more for good measure as he not only scores on this play, but becomes the second all-time leading rusher in Guntersville history. Right before the half, McCarty rolling right and airs it to the end zone to find Sam Kennedy, who just stays in bounds as the Wildcats take a 24-10 lead into halftime. In Guntersville, as they just defeated WAAY 45-17, I'm with head coach Lance Reese. Coach, what was working so well for you all tonight?
I'll tell you what, WAAY came out in the first half and kind of hit us in the mouth and took control of the game physically. I thought us getting the score right before half to go up 2 touchdowns was big, and then things kind of went our way in the second half. So just a great win to get the region championship.
You all are the region champions. Tell me, how does that feel?
Yeah, it's really big to get to play that first game at home. We match up with Region 5 out of Birmingham. This is one of the top regions in the state, so to be able to come home and play that's going to be big for us. We've got 15 seniors that have done a good job. They kind of got us refocused. We realized we couldn't live off last year. This is a new team. Kind of found our strengths that we need to play for this year, and just worked hard every week.
And the final score is 45-17 as the Guntersville Wildcats defeat the WAAY Pirates. For McCurry Big Game Friday night, I'm Xavier WAAY with WAAY 31 Sports.
Wow, a massive win for Guntersville. They're officially your 5A Region 7 champions.
And speaking of region championships in 5A Region 8, Russellville hit the road to take on East Limestone, the winner taking first place in that region. So let's head to East Limestone, and man, it was pouring out there tonight. But that would not slow down this Russellville team. A perfect connection to Randall Johnson. He's got nothing but Limestone County air in front of him. That's 6 for the Golden Tigers as they extend a big lead. But East Limestone would try to get something going tonight. Outside handoff for Alexander Mason. He makes a couple of Golden Tigers miss. He's down the sideline, and that's an Indians first down. That drive would stall, and Russellville would again find the end zone. Another back-breaking play. This time it's Ariana McCulloch who plants the foot. He's gone. But that game would end up going to Russellville as they run away with it. They are your region champs, 42-0, the final. All right, here's a look at some more 5A scores. Lee at Ardmore tonight. The Generals take the win, 35-20, while Fairview found themselves in a non-region matchup taking on Brewer, the Aggies. They get the big 55-14 home win. All right, here's a look at some more scores. West Point taking on Douglas tonight. This game with some playoff possibility implications, but Douglas, they are the ones that take that one 34-14, while two teams without a win square off. Sardis and Crossville both looking for a win, number one, and it's the Lions who get it 44-22.
And believe it or not, Fife has fallen. The nation's longest winning streak was snapped at 51 tonight by Geraldine as they handed the Red Devils a heartbreaking 2019 loss. This marks the first time Fife has lost a game since November of 2017.
Man, wow.
Unbelievable. So let's shift our attention now to 7A. Plenty of important matchups tonight as these teams fight for playoff positions. Over at Milton Frank, the Huntsville Panthers hosting the Florence Falcons. Falcons coming out of the locker room with a 28-7 lead and looking to add on. Jalen Simpson on the carry, immediately eyeing the sideline, dancing around a host of defenders before the big hit knocks him to the ground. Caleb Mahan's going to get the job done, doing his best impression of a running back. The 24-yard score puts Florence up 35-7, but they were not done yet. It's going to be Simpson again, and this time he disappears for a second, but when he comes back in frame, it's too late to stop him. He has the angle. A 20-yard house call puts the Falcons up 42-7. The Falcons clinch a playoff spot with the 56-14 blowout. Austin having a surprisingly tough season, taking on Albertville tonight, and the Black Bears dominate in this one, a 42-0 shutout win.
Talking about playoff positions, Bob Jones, despite having an incredibly slow start to their season, have put the train back on the tracks. They've won 4 out of their last 5. Can they keep up the momentum? Madison City Stadium, the home of tonight's contest, and the Patriots were driving early. Handoff to Tyron Washington. He finds a little seam for the first down, and then that would lead to a score for Bob Jones. Rayshawn Hardy back to pass for the Patriots, and he's got all day to throw, and it would lead to a score for Kelly Fields. He ends up with the ball in the end zone. Bob Jones out on top in this one, but here comes the rain, and here comes Grissom. Quarterback Tristan Graham rolling right, finding open space and taking off. He's down the sideline for the big game, deep into Bob Jones territory. Grissom would bring the ball all the way down inside of the 5, but the Bob Jones defense stands strong in the end. They win this one 56-0. The final, the Patriots can smell a playoff berth. All right, well, let's shift our attention now down to 2A. Max? Colbert County in action tonight against Lexington with second place in Region 8 on the line.
That's right. Marshall has the region locked up, but that doesn't mean other teams aren't still fighting for playoff positions. In the first quarter, we have no score when Lexington quarterback hands it off to Andrew Jeffers. He's taken down quickly. So on the same drive, it's Lard, and he's fighting off the defense. Another pass to Jeffers, but again, it's not enough for the first down. Colbert County, a handoff here to Austin Mitchell, but the defense is going to trip him up quickly. On the same drive, it's going to be more of the same. Mitchell with another handoff, but again, not getting much through the D-line. As the rain picks up, Lexington's James Lard can't find anyone open. He's going to decide to run this one, but he doesn't get far. Lexington goes on to win 20-0.
All right, well, let's move to Region 7. Pisgah in action tonight on the road at Section. The Eagles with the chance at a region title if they keep up their winning ways. Will pick up in the fourth quarter. Pisgah leading 14-0. Jacob Cooper keeps this one. He takes a hard hit, but he does get the first down. That extends the drive. Then later, another fourth down. Cooper to Buddy Walker. He's going to zigzag his way around the defense for 15 yards. That's another fourth down conversion, but that drive would stall and Pisgah would add to their lead. Mason Holcomb takes the snap, a gentle lob to a wide open Grant Smith who scampers in for the score. Pisgah up 20-0. The Eagles would hold the Lions scoreless tonight, 20-0, the final. All right, well, let's go ahead and take our first time out of the show.
But when we come up, we'll welcome in Antonio Macbeth for our big game Friday night rivalry game of the week.
That's right, guys. A county showdown between Randolph and Westminster, the Raiders against the Wildcats.
Stay tuned for more big game Friday night.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night. We've seen some great games this week, but there's one game that I think many of us had circled.
Yeah, two Madison County private schools matched up. Randolph hosting Westminster tonight. Antonio, I know you were excited for this one.
Oh, there's no doubt. These are two good football teams, and there's a lot of reason to be excited about both of them, especially for Westminster. In order to win this game at Randolph, you got to get up, and you have to be able to get Matt Jensen and Isaiah Lattimore going if you're Brandon Mush, the quarterback. Those are your key weapons. You have to be able to get those guys going. It's going to take a collective effort from that defense to slow Randolph down because they have a guy like Nick Strong, and this is a pretty young team, so they have to grow up in a hurry if they're going to win this one. And as I mentioned, Randolph has a dude named Nick Strong. They've got to be able to, Andrew Hunter has to be able to spread this ball out to his other weapons in order to get Nick Strong going, but that dude is a Swiss Army knife. He is a monster and tough to stop, and they have to slow down Mush and Lattimore if they want to win big, but hopefully this one will be a shootout.
All right, let's see how it all played out at Randolph tonight in front of a great crowd. The Randolph Raiders hoping that they can find the win column again tonight at home. And they would strike first and early. Andrew Hunter back to pass. And Antonio, guess who it goes to? It's up in the air, and it's Nick Strong who comes down with it. The Raiders on the board early, and those Randolph Raiders would continue their attack. It's the old RPO that fools our cameraman here as Hunter takes this one in for himself. His second rushing touchdown of the night. But Westminster would respond. Quarterback Isaiah Lattimore scrambling, rolling right and powering his way in for 6 to put Westminster on the board for the first time tonight. But in the end, it was all Randolph in this one. They walk away with a 44-20 victory over their rivals, leaving head coach David Laurie more than happy with his team as they move to 8-1 on the year.
Happy to be hosting the playoffs. First time we've done this as a program, but we still got DAR next week, and that's where our focus is going to be. We're going to celebrate this win for at least 24 hours, and then we get to come back in, watch some film, see what we did wrong, correct some mistakes, and then get ready for DAR on the road next week.
So there you have it. Randolph takes down Westminster Christian.
With the win, the Raiders moved to 8-1 on the season. Were you surprised to see this one, Antonio?
Honestly, yeah, I was surprised to see it so big because Westminster Christian is a good football team. Randolph just flexed their muscle and showed how powerful this offense is. Congratulations to them. That's a heck of a football team.
All right, thanks, Antonio. We'll catch up with you later on in the show when we talk a little bit of college football.
Absolutely. Well, let's jump into the action over at New Hope. It's the Indians hosting the Mustangs. Madison Academy jumped out to an early 7-0 lead as they returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. From there, they'd let the defense get to work. Whole host of Mustangs on that tackle. Believe it or not, it's not Will Stokes responsible for MA's next points. It's their kicker with the boot to put the Stangs up by 10. Of course, when Stokes has the ball, it's always cause for concern. This time, he has it heading for the sideline. Probably would have scored if he didn't step out. But of course, Madison Academy still finding the end zone. This time, they go through the air. Carson Crehan finds Tim Spurlock, and the Stangs run up a 17-point advantage. Madison Academy runs to 7-1 with the 37-7 win.
All right, sticking in a 4A Region 7, Madison County was back at home tonight hosting DAR, and after starting 3-1, the Wildcats have lost 4 in a row. Could they get back in the win column this week? They were moving the ball early on to the flats for Case Watson. He sidesteps one defender, and he's down the sideline for the big first down. And that would set up a score. Handoff to the big man, Brogan West. He finds some space right up the gut, in for the score. Wildcats out to a big lead. In part to that defense of theirs. Cameron Lindsay trying to get something going for DAR, but in comes Gavin Byers for the tackle, which would lead to another score for the Wildcats. This kid here, he's on another level. Isaiah Purdue gone to the house. Madison County gets back in the win column with a 61-0 shutout win over DAR.
Well, we haven't talked 6A Region 8 just yet, but that region has maybe some of the best teams in the state.
Yeah, that's right. A one-loss Muscle Shoals team on the road tonight, taking on Buckhorn. The Bucks trying to get something going early to the flats for Terrence Robinson. He delivers a mean stiff arm there, picks up a big gain, but their drive would end up stalling, and Muscle Shoals would drive down the field. Luke Peoples dumps it off to Devin Townsend. He picks up a first down for the Trojans, which would set up this score. It's Brooks Berry on the carry. He breaks the tackle in the backfield, bounces it outside, and dives in for the score. Muscle Shoals out to a 14-0 lead. And even though the Bucks would move the ball tonight, like this snag from Charles Kinnear, they would come up short, falling 35-7 to the Trojans.
To number 11.
Well, that'll just about do it here. Time for us to take our second time out of the show, but don't go anywhere. We're back with more when Big Game Friday Night returns.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. It was a busy night across North Alabama for Week 8.
But it was also a busy night last night, Max. There were 14 North Alabama teams in action, including an undefeated Lauderdale County team. At Lauderdale County, the Tigers looking to move to 9-0 with the win over Colbert Heights. Already up 20-7 when Tigers quarterback Eric Fuqua looking to add on, finding Brody Lynch, who makes a defender miss for the big first down. And although they didn't score on that drive, they would continue their physical dominance tonight, pounding the rock. This time it's Brody Richardson on the county. He runs into trouble but keeps those legs moving with a little help from his friends. He gets a huge gain, giving Lauderdale County another chance to add some late points. Braxton Rose puts the nail in the coffin with this late touchdown, and the Tigers move to 9-0. They finished their season with a perfect record, the final 35-7, and we were able to meet up with the coach after the win.
Like I said, it's been a special season with these guys, but the hardest working group of guys that we've had in a while. I mean, we've had some good ones, but from top to bottom, this whole team works hard and really been fun and enjoyed our time with them so far. But we're trying to get ready, trying to get better every week. We've got to keep getting better.
Well, at East Lawrence tonight, Phil Campbell hit the gridiron, and the Bobcats have quietly put together a really successful season. Over at East Lawrence, the Eagles hosting Phil Campbell. The Bobcats would score first, but the Eagles will be flying high the first time they touch the ball. The kick goes way back on the Eagles, but Braylon Robinson goes back and gets it anyway. Good thing he does, because he gets a solid block and finds open field. You know how these things go. Now it's off to the races. The diving tackles can't take him down, and Robinson stumbles into the end zone to give the Eagles a 7-6 lead. A little later, the Bobcats looking to claw back, but the defense isn't fooled by play action. This pass is intended for Jacob Barnwell, but Jeremiah Creighton says, "I'll be taking that," swinging the momentum. East Lawrence would add another when Caden Rivers takes this handoff and dives into your living room for the score. That one would end with Phil Campbell coming all the way back to take this one 36-35 in overtime.
What a game. All right, let's finish our night at the Shoals. Plainview in action tonight, hosting Slovenia in a big Region 7 showdown. We picked this one up in the first quarter. Slovenia 3rd and 8. It's Cody Smith who finds Zach Anderson on the 1-yard line. He steps in for the Rams touchdown. Slovenia 6, Plainview 0. Then later, 7-0 ball game. Noah White looking for a receiver. Scrambles and pitches, but it's picked off by Slovenia's Jackson Smith. And then check out this next play. It's a punt for the Rams. Normally, nothing happens on these, right? But the punt is muffed, and Zach Anderson is there to grab it to set up 1st and goal for the Rams, and they would get something going from there on the 4-yard line. And although they wouldn't score on this drive, they would end up finding the end zone later after Smith would find Hughes for a big Slovenia touchdown. 13-0 ball game, and that one in the end, it's the Rams who take this one 49-31. All right, well, I think it's time that we go ahead and take our 3rd and final timeout.
Yeah, that's right, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we'll go over the busy slate of college football and finish things with your big game Friday night top lights.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Week 8 in the books, but before we go, let's talk some college football.
Absolutely, we can't forget about that. Antonio, the Auburn Tigers coming off that loss to Georgia last week. This week, they head to Fayetteville.
Yeah, the competition's not as daunting, but it's still a pretty good football team. Arkansas is going to pose a good threat, a better threat offensively than we thought given the Ole Miss game, but Auburn has to get back to running the football in the SEC, something they haven't done very well. The receivers also have to catch the football, something they did very poorly last week with 7 drops. And, of course, as Bo Nix goes, so will the game. On the Alabama side of things, with Mississippi State going there, God bless whoever plays Alabama following a loss. Mississippi State, this is actually their 4th time playing the Tide after the Tide lost a game, and the average margin of victory in those games is about 22 points. So it looks like as long as the Tide runs the ball like they're supposed to in the red zone, they should be just fine.
Well, absolutely should be. I'll have you covered on that one tomorrow night. That should be a fun one. And all the action here coming up on WAAY 31 following tomorrow night's TCU Oklahoma game.
All right, well, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to our radio sponsors, especially Nash Icon, WZYP, WRAB, all those radio stations helping us get those scores to you each and every week. All right, well, that'll wrap things up here. Thanks to all of our photographers standing out in the rain tonight, production, editors, producers, and everyone that makes this show possible.
And of course, thank you all for joining us. We'll leave you the same way we leave every big game Friday night with your big game Friday night top lights.
Night, everybody.
You've been watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.